Is Nex Machina an unplayed masterpiece? As gamers, we long for great games, and as someone who grew up when arcade shooters were in their prime, to see a return to the classic arcade-style twin-stick shooter, this should have been high on my list, but I ignored it. However, my reasoning is simple. I never owned a PS4, and I rarely play games on PC. So what happened? Let's take a look at
Nex Machina.
You'd imagine that developers Housemarque would have had plenty of momentum to scale up to this release after games like RESOGUN were so acclaimed and popular. They even brought in Eugene Jarvis, creator of Robotron, Smash TV, and Total Carnage, which are revered as some of the greatest twin-stick shooters of all time, to help develop this game. With all that momentum, arcade heritage, and name recognition, you'd imagine this game would have had a lot of interest. And it certainly did from the press. It rightly received a ton of praise, with scores in the 9 out of 10 region being the norm. I recently bought a PlayStation 5, so I'm catching up on a good number of exclusive games I missed. Games like Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon Zero Dawn have been great, but I always had Nex Machina on my list for what's the game actually like to play. I suppose the biggest hurdle holding this game back was that it doesn't translate well to static screenshots. In action though, this is a monster of rapid movement, fluid gameplay, and just stuff flying everywhere. If it moves, it'll kill you, and even if it doesn't, it might still kill you. This is definitely a challenging game though, and it will ask a ton of patience from players. The rookie mode is the most accessible difficulty level, but it still presents a decent challenge. Switch up to the experience mode and this starts to become much more challenging, which I know many players will not be willing to put themselves through. So there's a good chance this is off-putting to many gamers, but we live in a world where Dark Souls and Elden Ring reached a mass market, so I don't believe that difficulty is the main factor in the disappointing sales performance. My experience with the game has been highly positive. I love the graphics, I love the fluid movement, I love the weapons and working out how to improve through the various areas, and like many a classic arcade game, you'll fail constantly during your initial hours of play, then improve as you figure out the game's mechanics. That said, this is still tested by patience, and a frequent question I asked throughout was, well, kill me then! Usually followed by many a bad word rolled into a 10-word super combo, which is why it feels so rewarding to eventually beat those bosses that were destroying you over and over. I think this game perfectly captures that old school arcade feel and rolls it into a modern graphical showpiece, so why didn't it sell? I suspect this game arrived purely at the wrong time, with a limited release to Sony consoles and later PC. Even the physical release was sold through limited run games. Had the game seen a wide release both physically and digitally without a staggered release, I feel it would have gained way more traction. Sadly, the failure of Nex Machina led Housemarque to declare that arcade was dead and they changed direction, which is sad as I don't believe that to be true. However, Returnal, which is their latest release, certainly sold well here in the UK. So if that success was repeated worldwide, maybe their move was the right one. That said, Nex Machina does exist, and it is a great game. It's one of those games you can pick up for 20 minutes and have a blast and not be too concerned that you didn't finish it. Every time you play, you improve a little or notice a strategy that might help. If you enjoy this style of game with fair challenge and difficulty levels that scale up substantially, then this is the game for you. So that's Nex Machina. A great game, but an unfortunate failure. If you have played this game, let me know your thoughts, and if not, what were your reasons for skipping it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like, share or subscription is very much appreciated. And I hope to see you again soon.